Hello and welcome to Grind Slime TV with me, your host Aaron. And today we're shipping up to Boston, oh yeah, Lovecraft country, to talk about the crust punk hardcore legends that are Disrupt. And this is their album Unrest. It's the only album they put out, but oh, she's a banger. Oh, she's a banger. This came out on Relapse Records in 1994. Unfortunately, the band split up in 1993. When they recorded this in 92. Now before that they had a whole bunch of like EPs and demos that came out and like a million lineup changes. But this LP is absolutely solid. As are the rest of their releases, and some load of compilations have came out since, and there are versions of this album that have 30 tracks, but this one I hold in my hand unfortunately only has 20, which, yeah, sucks a little bit, but the 20 songs that are on there are bangers. 6 piece, both vocalists have got a good range from both, well, all three of them, like lows, mids, and highs. So between the two of them, they've got a nice, heavy, sort of no clean singing or anything like that. Now, this isn't a metal release by any stretch of the imagination, but it is heavy as far as punk albums go. You know, very metal styled vocals. The drumming is insane. Like, there's no like blasting or anything, but you can just feel the rage and hatred behind the playing. Like, for me, the drums and the vocals stand out the most. The guitar and bass, of course, you know, they're awesome, but you can just feel the aggression. And it covers a whole bunch of subject matters that you'd expect to find within the hardcore scene. You know, like animal welfare, police brutality, systemic racism, government overreach, environmental issues, animal welfare and rights. It's just, you know, anti-religion as well. You know, it ticks all the boxes. They're angry at everybody, but it also leans in to having a pop at the old PC police as well. You know, on the song "We Stand Corrected," they, you know, they say in the lyrics, like, you know, some people have different opinions, and though we don't always have to agree, we can still get along and stuff. And here we are, like more than 30 years later, and it rings so many bells for me. It's great. Now, I only came across these guys within the last 10 years because I was always more into the sort of, I've always liked punk and I've always loved grindcore and the more punk element of it, but it wasn't till quite some years later that I started finding a lot of like the underground hardcore and power violence, you know, like Siege and Drop Dead or Raw Power from Italy, you know, those sort of bands. And that's when these guys came across my radar, and I've spun this album many a time since. And I had to, as soon as I saw this was coming back out and it was pre-pressed, I was just like, yeah, mate, this is happening. You know, no escape. Really, really good album from start to finish. It's got additional vocals on here by Alyssa Murray. As far as I'm aware, she hasn't done anything else outside of Disrupt, but if I'm wrong, please correct me and point me in the right direction, because she fits on this album really cool as well, because she sounds just as fucking angry as the rest of them do. Really cool. So she's on a few tracks on here, Squandered, Green to Grey. What was it? Yeah, it's Green to Grey. Sometimes I say grey to green. But yeah, Life is a Life, Religion is a Fraud. Those are the only ones that come into mind at the moment. But we've got a nice lyric sheet here. We've got the cool anti-Mackie D's thing going on there. Look, pretty sweet, pretty sweet. Oh yeah, you ever see that movie, The Infiltrator, with Michael Keaton? Not Michael, not The Infiltrator. That was Bryan Cranston. No, The Founder with Michael Keaton. That's the banging film. If you haven't seen it, really good. About the geezer what founded McDonald's. Good movie. Got all the lyrics over on this side, as they want to do. And for those of you who like your colourful things, get a load of this bad boy. Same sort of army green kind of thing that we saw in the Convulse record from Sparta Records. Oh yeah, little bit transparent, but not overly. So that's kind of cool. We like things like that. So if you're into bands like, you know, Extreme Noise Terror, Anti-Cimex, early, maybe even late Exploited, but more early Exploited, I'd say. And there's something on this album that you can really get yourself into. But it's definitely full on anger, you know. This has influenced so many bands that have come out, really good bands too, you know, like Dysphere, Wolf Brigade, Stinker. The list goes on and on. But loaded with D beats, really angry, played great, and just heavy as all balls. And this can sit along any metal album, I think, and no one will look at it and go, "Oh, what's that doing there?" You know, it's just, I love it. You know, it's got that proper Boston attitude, and unfortunately, them not being around, they are still in other bands as well. The only other band that comes to mind is the sludge doom band Grief, also from Boston, and as you can imagine, but I don't think they're together anymore. But they put out a much more extensive discography, and it's bloody good as well. Definitely. But if you're into your hardcore and crust punk, but you also like your metal and grind, like I say, this isn't a metal album, but it's a fucking heavy and extreme punk album. So, in honour of Disrupt, I'll be changing my sign off from here on out to keep it extreme, keep it underground.